Hi, hello. Looking for a book? Want to change for better from just reading one? Start from small, tiny action to shape who you really want to become. I would like to recommend you one book, which is Atomic Habit by James Clear. Why tiny changes make a big difference? Quite similar, huh? I assume that some of you guys have heard of this book before. It is one of the best-selling book worldwide of all time for self-development. Moreover, it has been the most sell and most read book, non-fiction book, consistently since its release. So let's start. It is about tiny things we do daily that may seem insignificant at first, but when you become familiar and get used to it, if you portray the person you are, whether good or bad, depend on you yourself. Meaning that if you choose to have a good habit like sleeping early, eating healthy, working out, and many other good actions that seem to be hard to start and maintain it, but eventually you will find yourself in a very good shape over time. On the other hand, if you choose to contrast from the above, including eating fast food, procrastinating, overspending, and so on, you will face some serious problem or crisis. I admit that most of the healthy routine are hard to carry on and easily slip away unconsciously, and the vicious one are effortlessly and smoothly take over instantly or just overnight. That's why this book provides you with a clear framework with a practical tool and a shift of mindset. In this book, there are 5 core principles that explain worry clearly and thoroughly. So, no more further ado, let's dive into our book. Like I said, there are 5 core principles. So, the first one is the fundamental, which include the 1% rules and the power of atomic habit to shape your identity. Habits are the compound interest of self-development. Getting 1% better every day makes a massive growth in the long run. Habits are a double-edged sword. They can work for you or against you. That's why understanding the detail is essential. Habit is a small part of your system. Therefore, if you want a good result, then set a good habit with a strong system rather than just setting a goal. Real example, for this past few months before the Badop, many students just started to study hard for the upcoming exam and set their goal to get an A. I mean, it's good to have a clear goal and aim for a good result. When you already know that you should study hard from the beginning, why did you just set that goal just 3 to 5 months before the exam? Why don't you set your system to always study hard even after the exam and get into university? Let's highlight the difference between habit and system. If you want a good result for a long run, then change your system. The other core principles are focused on 4 simple laws to build a better habit, such as cue, craving, respond, and reward. Going to our second principle, which is the first law to build a better habit, which is cue. Make it obvious. This law cue is used to trigger a clear and visible habit. Every habit is initiated by a cue. We are more likely to notice the cues that stand out, so make the cues of good habit obvious in your environment. With enough practice, your brain will pick up on the cues that predict certain outcome without consciously thinking about it. It means when our brain becomes automatic, we stop paying attention to what we are doing. It kind of becomes a reflection. One of the most practical to eliminate bad habit is to reduce exposure to the cues that causes it. Moving on to the next principle, which is the second law, craving. Make it attractive. In this law, make the good habit appealing, because the more it's appealing, the more attractive we get, and the more craving we are to follow, and we will stick with it. If good habits are attractive, the more likely it is to become a new habit forming. Highlight the good routine to make it seem attractive and avoid doing bad habits to prevent it from building them into habits. Habits are attractive when we associate them with positive feeling and unattractive when we associate them with negative feeling. Create a motivation ritual by doing something you enjoy immediately before a difficult habit. The fourth principle, which is the third law, is respond. Make it easy. People normally take up the tasks that are easy to do and use least effort. Also, habits are formed when they are simple and easy to follow. Create an environment where doing the right thing or a good habit is as easy as possible, and trying to find a way to make bad habits are hard to do. In another term, increase the friction associated with bad behavior, because when the friction is high, habits are difficult. It goes the same for good habit. Reduce the friction connected with good behavior, because when the friction is low, habits are easy. Moving on to our last core principle, which is the fourth law of forming a better habit, reward. Make it satisfying. For a habit to last, it needs to feel rewarding. One of the most satisfying feelings is the feeling of making progress. We are more likely to repeat a behavior when the experience is satisfying and we even get rewards. Our human brain evolved to prioritize immediate rewards over delayed reward, and we are less likely to repeat bad habit if it is painful, unsatisfying, or useless. So 3 laws of behavior change: make it obvious, make it attractive, and make it easy. Increase the odds that behavior will be performed this time. Whereas the 4th law, make it satisfy, increase the odds that the behavior will be repeated next time. And that's come to an end of my short review of the book Atomic Habit. In this book also included how to become from really good to truly great, and you may search it up yourself after you're done with the book. I hope you have a great time reading this book and get to explore more from it.